Good morning, Year 12. We're delighted that we're going to be getting you back into school soon, but we have to accept that we're all facing a unique challenge that will affect every one of us. The following guidance is to help you understand how to come back into school in a way that is safe for you, members of staff, and for your parents. The first thing to say is that if you or any of your family are showing symptoms of COVID-19, it is essential that you do not come into school. You stay at home, self-isolate and follow government guidelines about how to cope with the disease. Year 12 will be using pupil services, both to enter and to leave school. We ask you to come in sixth form dress code, as you normally would. Because you're only coming in for a day at a time, you can then take those clothes home and get them cleaned thoroughly before the next time you come into school. Next week, the week commencing 15th of June, you'll be invited in for a discussion with either your form tutor or a member of the sixth form team. You will receive a notification of the time of that discussion in the very near future. The aim is to talk you through issues of health that may be affecting you, to consider your progress over the course of the lockdown, to look at your future plans in terms of apprenticeships, UCAS, etc., and also to introduce you to the Microsoft Teams system that we will be using for future lessons. In subsequent weeks, you'll be asked to come in by option blocks for small group half-hour tutorial sessions with your subject teacher. For example, on Monday the 22nd, there are tutorials for option block A. This involves English, Maths, Psychology, RE and BTEC Sport. Only students taking those subjects need to come in. These will take place between 9 AM and 12 PM. You will be notified when your time slot is. You're only required to come in school in time for your tutorial. For example, if your tutorial starts at 10:30 AM, you should be in school by 10:20. Once the tutorial is finished, you should go home to help to minimise the number of people on site. In the event of an emergency, we must know who is on site. Signing in and out books will be in pupil reception. Therefore, you need to register in pupil reception when you arrive, and it is essential that you sign out when you leave. Bring all the equipment you should need for normal lessons. In particular, it's important you have the right files available for tutorial lessons. To avoid shared equipment, bring several pens in case one runs out. Lesson 5, from 2 o'clock till 3 o'clock, will be delivered as a Microsoft Teams lesson, and there will be one lesson per option block each day. Because we're not asking sixth form to come in for very long at any one time, there will be no food provided. You also need to be aware that the water fountains will be out of use and you may need to bring a pre-filled water bottle. Ideally, we'd like you to walk to school, come by bike or be dropped off. If you have to travel by public transport, the requirement is now that you wear a face mask, which when you get to school you should secure at the bottom of your bag. We're also aware that sixth formers, some of you can drive and you might be driving into school. But to comply with regulations about distancing, you cannot give a lift to your friends. As soon as you arrive at pupil reception, you'll notice a change. There is a lot of new signage in place. This is to help with the social distancing and help people keep 2 metres. For example, you can see that there are one-way systems in operation, but there are also arrows that are set at 2 metres distance apart. Try to stick to those for the safety of everyone. Should we need to evacuate the building for whatever reason, we will go out onto the top yard. Once out onto the top yard, sixth form need to line up next to the gym. Their members of staff will be able to identify who's present and if there are any people that we need to follow up. Wait there until you are dismissed back into school, but remember when you go back into school to maintain the distancing, use the signage to help provide you with a guide about keeping 2 metres apart. To avoid the spread of the bug, as far as possible, we will be keeping windows open for ventilation, and where it's possible, we will wedge doors to keep that open. If you have to touch a door, then we would advise that you try to go to a hand sanitizer as soon as possible in order to clean your hands. You'll notice it's not just the corridors where we're looking for a 2 metre distance. The classrooms that you're in have been set out to help maintain that distance. Inevitably, at some point, you may feel the need to cough or sneeze. If you do it into a tissue and bring some for yourself. Remember, catch it, bin it, kill it. And as soon as you've done, take the next opportunity to clean your hands with sanitizer. Your day will come to an end at the end of your tutorial session. Leave again through pupil services. We ask you not to hang around outside waiting for your friends, but to move away so that we minimise the number of people who can come into contact with each other. If you do feel ill during the day, you must inform your class teacher, who will press the Sims On Call button for a member of the inclusion team or SLT to come down to the classroom. If necessary, you may see one of the first aiders. And be aware that should you have COVID-19 symptoms, they may be wearing PPE, which may seem a bit strange at first. Reception will arrange for someone to collect you. In the meantime, you'll be asked to wait in the meeting room opposite visitor reception. It's massively important that we all work together to maintain a safe school environment. We expect, and I'm sure we will get, your cooperation in enforcing these guidelines. I hope you found this visit video informative. Stay safe, and we look forward to seeing you in the future. But if in the meantime, either you or your parents have any questions, get in touch with a member of the sixth form team and we'll get an answer to you as soon as we can.